They say that father time bows to no one, but I feel like father time bows to one person, which is why I'm going to call MS Dhoni grandfather time from today, because we all bow in front of our fathers. And that's what is happening. This is no other explanation. I don't know how I can explain that. He is crossed 40. It's been a while since he has, yet here he is. I don't even think he's human. I think he's a droid. I think he's a robot. Maybe he's from the future. I don't know. Maybe we should just check his back. There must be some circuitry and some batteries. I don't know. I don't understand it. Keep quiet. The voices in my head. This is Cricbuzz Live. I'm Gaurav Kapur. I'm ecstatic. I'm super excited because this guy, some people turn the clock back. His just stays back there somewhere. I've got Joy Bhattacharya and Michael Vaughan here with me. Joy, are you as appalled and amazed and ecstatic as I am?
I'm currently putting together a book on Dhoni. So I just looked into myself and said, okay, one more chapter added to the book because, in his 15th year in the IPL, he'll still get you one more chapter to the book because, he just does it every time. That one of the most magnificent romances that we've had in IPL cricket is Dhoni and the 20th over. The record he has in the 20th over, more than 300 runs he scored in that 20th over chasing. He's just absolutely amazing. It seems 20th over is Dhoni time. That's where he switches on. That's where he gives you his most. And, there was this, even it started with a wicket, but the moment the strike changed, there was this air of inevitability that, okay, this is Dhoni. It's the 20th over. It's going to happen.
Michael, Joy says something so interesting. You come to the last over and he switches on. I feel like when I look at him, it comes to the last few balls and he switches off, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, he's the coolest operator going. Generally, when you're chasing down targets, you try and do the damage before the last over. MS Dhoni's got a different mechanism going because he always leaves more for the last over to make it look even better when he gets his team over the line. He is the greatest in terms of hitting balls in the last over to get whoever he's playing for over the line. He just seems to almost bring on the pressure, and from nowhere he just starts to hit the boundaries. That was an innings of I'll be honest, sitting watching, I thought, no, he ain't got it again. He's past it. He can't do it once more. And don't tell me most people weren't thinking exactly the same. But then once again, he's proven many people, I wouldn't say wrong, but he's, I guess, questioned any doubters that he's still not got that X factor. MS has still got the X factor.
Yeah, he does. It's exactly why I'm saying switch off is because he almost goes into default mode. His default mode in the last over is, it almost feels like he doesn't care. And that's why he's going to win. Because it almost seems on the outside like it doesn't really matter to him. And the other team is just so tight with tension. And this is the attitude and the temperament. And I know it just sounds so counterintuitive, Joy. But for those who can just treat it like any other ball and not the last ball with 4 to win, those are the guys who are going to end up on the winning side.
Exactly. There's this thing said by Rudyard Kipling, that if you can take triumph and disaster and treat those two imposters just the same, Dhoni just looks as if he doesn't care. And, I'm just going to read this stat out for you because it's necessary. We look at it. He's got 16 and 4 balls in this last over. But in 28 innings before this, 250 runs in the last over while chasing at a strike rate of 287.35. That means he's not just done it today. He does this consistently. I mean, there are people who've scored 250 runs in their entire IPL career. Dhoni has scored 250 runs in his IPL career in the 20th over batting second.
Yeah.
What do you say?
Do you think, Michael, do you think he has a long lease on the last over? He's got this 15, 20-year lease. That's where he lives, right? He lives in the last over.
Yeah,
see address on his passport. 20th over.
Yeah, I think it might be longer than 15 to 20 years. I think he's just going to keep going. I don't think there's a time frame on the lease. I think he just owns it. Yeah, I don't think he's leased it. I think he's bought it. he may have to lease it to someone else soon, but he owns it. There's no question about that. That's his property. No, yeah. And it'll be very valuable because whoever can try and match what MS Dhoni has done for many, many years in that last over, good luck. You're going to have to pay a lot of money for that.
Yeah, you will. And I don't even think money can buy it. I really don't think. Just this kind, what it is. Spare a thought for Mumbai. Spare a thought for Mumbai. They thought they were back in the game. They thought they had it wrapped up. But did they? With MS Dhoni on the other side, you never think it's wrapped up. But Michael, you'll have to say there were a few gifts given perhaps to Pretorius in the last few overs there.
Yeah, there was. He played nicely. Mumbai, for whatever reason, have just not got their mojo this year. They kind of scrambled to 155. Started well in the field. Daniel Sams was great this evening. He bowled terrifically with those 4 wickets. But Mumbai, I think both teams actually they've almost lost the art of winning. And MS Dhoni's produced magic to get the yellows over the line. But you never felt that in that chase they were ultimately confident about chasing the score down. It's taken something very, very special. You never ever felt that was a partnership out there that completely knew what they were trying to achieve to get that score. And I think that's the story of both teams. I think they're just struggling. I don't think they've got players that are in ultimate form. I think they're all scratching around for their own individual form. And then within that, the team look like they're not operating as one. That's just confidence. Maybe this win by MS Dhoni will just spring Chennai into life. It's a big win for Jadeja. It's a big win for the skipper because he has struggled. He's dropped the 2 chances, didn't bat brilliantly himself, and all of a sudden he's got a win as a captain. And I think if it had got a loss as a captain, it'd have been another kind of little prod towards his leadership role this year. So it's a big win for Jadeja, and I just wonder whether it'll trigger Chennai into some kind of action.
Grandfather time he is. 155 is what Mumbai got to. They were put into bat first by Ravindra Jadeja. And they kind of, it was scrappy. It scrapped and scrambled and got to 155. And in the end, it took a bit of a superhuman effort from Chennai. It was clunky, Joy. It was clunky from both teams. Let's face it, while we are elated about what Dhoni's done in the end, the truth is 155-run chase should not have gone down to the last over. The batters should have done much better. It should not have gone down to number 7 and 8 actually scoring the winning runs. It shouldn't have gone there.
No, it shouldn't have. And even the way Jadeja gave his wicket away at that point in time, you just look at the way he got out and you ask yourself, what was he thinking? I mean, really, in the way he walked off, his dragging his bat, clearly, Michael has said something which is very important. Both teams were trying their best to lose. The only person who looked as if he was trying to win a match at this point was Dhoni, and to a certain extent, Daniel Sams. But the others were just who's making less mistakes. That team is more likely to win. I mean, you see Jadeja dropping catches. If you notice, Rohit Sharma had 2 times, all the time in the world, to line up the stumps and take them down. Twice he has a situation where he had the ball in his hand and cover, and the batsman who was way out of his crease had given up. They're just running. If it hits the stumps, it's out. He misses 2 times. Yeah. And those are things that, while Rohit is not a great fielder, Rohit is normally a reliable fielder. And Jadeja, let's not even talk about Jadeja dropping catches. So somewhere both those guys are not quite there. And, as Michael's saying, hopefully this will turn Jadeja on, maybe just trigger something, maybe he's crossed something. So, I mean, that's the only thing we can look at. But, it's been a torrid time in the field for both the captains.
I think if you see the Mumbai bowlers, the biggest problem that they're having, Michael, is that Bumrah is just not getting wickets. I don't remember when he has played 7 games and picked up just 4 wickets. That's all he's got. And 3 of them came in one match. A single wicket in another, which means he's gone wicketless in 5 games. And it's not like they're playing him out. I mean, he's gone for 29, 30. His average is about, I think, 30 per game. He's going to get about 7.5. So it's not even like they're playing him out. So Bumrah is really having a season off the boil with the ball, adding to their batting woes, which are already existing.
Yeah, I mean, I guess the positives are Daniel Sams and the young off-spinner. Shakeen, I thought he was excellent. But I do think they are trying to play him out, Gaurav. I think what's happening with Bumrah, that they're trying to see him off because they're not worried about the other bowlers. He's realising that, so he's gambling. He's trying to bowl the glory balls because he's trying to get wickets, because he knows that the opposing side are just trying to bat his 4 overs. And then he's given, flicks down the leg side, the odd gift. He's not had a great deal of fortune, but I think he needs one or two other bowlers around him, to kind of put more of a squeeze on. And then the opposition would have to risk more against Jasprit Bumrah, and then he's a world beater. It's just the Mumbai operation this year. It's just not working. It's just it's now got to the stage where I think it's worth them throwing in more youngsters to give them experience, just to see if they can unearth one or two more wonderful young players. And then if they lose another couple, I honestly think it's time for Rohit Sharma to take a breather.
Yeah.
Just take a breather. Just take a time. They play so much cricket. We spoke about it pre-match, that you have to pick and choose when you're going to have those breathers. And if Mumbai can't make the eliminators in a couple of games' time, it's just completely impossible. It probably is now.
It is now,
take a breather. They play so much high-profile cricket, these players, that Rohit Sharma would be probably serving himself, and now he's the captain of India, serving the captaincy of India better by having a breather away from the game in a couple of games' time. And I mean, miss the whole of the rest of the IPL. Just go and miss it. Go and have a week. Go and have 3 or 4 weeks doing nothing. Get away from cricket. Chill. Whatever he does to chill, go and do it.
It's a great point, Michael, because Rohit's got a big 18 months coming up for India. There's 2 World Cups.
Yeah, I mean, look, they should. They call in the US. They call it, when you can't make the NBA playoffs, you shut down the players. It's literally Rohit just needs to be shut down. Relax. There are plenty of young people. Give Arjun Tendulkar a chance. Give the other kids a chance. Let's see if you tell the other kids saying that, what, this is like your preview for next year. You want to play actual opposition, go hard, try and win games. And a couple of you are going to really do well and going to make it next year. And I mean, there's lots of names out there. There's Mike Markanday, who deserves a chance. Basil Thampi possibly might get a chance back.
Sanjay Yadav. Yeah.
Aryan Joyal, I've seen him. He's not bad at all. I haven't seen much of Ramandeep Singh, but Sanjay Yadav, let's give Sanjay Yadav, we thought he got a cap. We didn't know what happened after that. But so I think maybe one more game, maximum one more game, but I'd say it's about time Mumbai shut down and start focusing on next day instead of, beating this horse.
I think that this is the streak now. Isn't this the record? This is the streak for the most consecutive losses.
Most consecutive opening losses. Because I think Kolkata jointly held the streak with PWC, Pune Warriors, of 9 losses in a row. So that's happened, but not to start the season.
Not
Starting
the first 7.
In a row is a record. This is a record.
Well, I hope for the sake of Mumbai fans that that record is not broken, the 9-1, because I don't know if they'll be able to handle that. But the way the season is going, I mean, it won't be 9 in a row, but it looks like I don't think they can win the next 7. And even if they do, the calculation that we've been doing so far on Cricbuzz Live says you've got to get at least 8 wins to even stand a chance. You've got to be at 16 points, right, Joy? Are those the numbers you crunched?
Yeah, those are the numbers. Yeah, because 4 out of 10, you're not 4 out of 8, it's 4 out of 10. So you need that extra win. It's very rarely you'll go through on a 7-7. You'll need to be 8-6. See, that's the thing. That if you look at what Mumbai is doing right now, the biggest problem is that they have, if their season where it's stuck, it's also a long time. See, now normally what happens is you get knocked out of a season somewhere towards the end of the season. You have 3 or 4 games you get knocked out. This, they're literally going to be knocked out halfway through the season. So it's a very long time in the dressing room after that, and these are difficult. It's like, I think I was reading one of the diaries, I think it was Phil Edmonds, about a tour in the Caribbean where they're facing the West Indian fast bowlers, and it's a 3-month tour, and you're thinking, you get knocked out on the first day of the first test, you think there's 2.5 more months of facing these guys, And sometimes you got to think like that,
Yeah, fair enough. What's the points table looking like right now? If you're a Mumbai fan, well, look away. Really look away, because it's 7 losses from 7 games for them yet to open their account. Chennai, meanwhile, from 7, they've won 2. And suddenly you're looking at Kolkata and Punjab and saying those teams were looking so good and Chennai was looking so dismal. And then you look at it and say, well, there's just 1 win separating them now, right? What has happened? Suddenly with these 2 wins, Chennai is I don't know if they're still going to be challengers. Can they get somewhere near those eliminators? But, a few of the teams on the bottom half beat few of the teams on the top half, and suddenly this table just turns topsy-turvy, and then you just want to be there and thereabouts. And you never know. For Chennai fans, there still could be light at the end of this really long tunnel, and it may not be that of an oncoming train. So there you go. That's what it's looking like for them. Let's have a look at just one quick look at the match summary. Just sum it up for you. This was meant to be the El Clasico. It turned out to be a bit of a clunky Clasico from both ends. Told you it's the upside down universe now. So teams 9 and 10 are 9 trophies between them, Mumbai and Chennai. 155 is what they got. Tilak Verma got a half century. For Chennai, well, you had just one proper partnership, which was a 50-run partnership with Raidu and Uthappa. That kind of got them going. And in the end, well, there was a bit of fireworks from Pretorius. And then once again, you say it. You never thought you'd say it in 2022, but MS Dhoni takes Chennai home. You've been saying it since 2008. You're still saying it in 2022. Will we still be saying it in 2028? You never know. But today, grandfather time, MS Dhoni has taken Chennai home yet again. Okay, so that kind of wraps it up for this game. Let's talk about the game that's coming up tomorrow. Because have we got some table toppers playing tomorrow? What's going on? What's playing? Delhi and Rajasthan. Well, one of them's a table topper. And the other one's not too shabby. Yeah, we're talking about Rajasthan and Delhi. This game has also moved from, this was supposed to happen in Pune. And because of the COVID scare in the Delhi camp, just want to tell you that the players who played in the game yesterday, today have all returned negative tests as well. So looks like there's not much to be jittery about for this game tomorrow. And of course, Delhi, Michael, yesterday we saw that sometimes when you have your back against the wall and strange things have happened, they kind of get you to band together.
Yeah, I mean, these players are kind of almost used to a bit of adversity over the last couple of years. It's been a common trend of testing 1 or 2 COVID cases, and all of a sudden you're thinking, oh, your game's not going to be played, and then you're playing and you play so well. I mean, it's that opening partnership. And I think one person actually of both teams that will be delighted for the move will be Jos Buttler. Butler's got a tremendous record at the Wankhede. He absolutely adores batting on that surface, as I'm sure Prithvi Shaw and David Warner will be thinking exactly the same. It was probably one of those moves that all the bowlers fancied going to Pune to bowl on that wicket because of the bigger boundaries. And then they got told the bowling at the Wankhede and thought, oh no. They're not going to sleep too cozily this evening. But 2 good teams. Delhi have had a couple of kind of stumbles, but are still there with the best in terms of the 11s that they put out. Even though they do obviously miss the likes of Mitchell Marsh, they're still very, very strong. And Rajasthan, for me, are the best franchise in terms of what they delivered in the auction this time round. I think they worked the auction brilliantly. Yuvi Shahal and R. Ashwin, and then they've just, whatever they've done to Jos Buttler, he feels so comfortable playing for Rajasthan. He just, I think the way they look after his family, everything about what they're doing to Jos, I know that he feels very, very comfortable, and he wants to take them as far as possible this year.
That's such a good point, Michael. And let's quiz Joy on that a little bit, because you've been part of team management. This is such it seems like a thing that could fly below the radar, Joy, but just taking care of a player's family.
Oh, it's very important. There are very simple things. 2-3 things. One is an even more basic thing. Players, the biggest pressure players have, especially when they're playing in India, it's less in COVID times now. It started again because there is attendance in the grounds. Is tickets. Every player, there are 500 people who want tickets from every player, and especially at home, still their home franchise could normally give them tickets. Away, they don't have that many tickets to give, so it's a constant worry. So good franchises actually buy tickets and say, okay, here's 20 tickets for you, don't worry about it, we are going to take care of it, we'll buy those tickets. Because what they don't want is a guy to get onto the bus and wonder, oh God, my boss in the income tax department wants tickets and I can't get it for him, and tomorrow
my wife's uncle,
wife's uncle, brother-in-law, son-in-law, mother-in-law, all this happens all the time. So good franchises, what they try and do is make sure that all this rubbish, what we call the surround of what an IPL is, a tournament is, get it away from the players. There's
Yeah,
somebody to
nice.
look after it. There's somebody to look after. Okay, your wife is landing in so and so time. You don't need to call up and find out. Somebody is there. They found out. They've located her. They picked them up. They're bringing them to the hotel. It's all sorted. They have to go somewhere. So those things are taken care of. And good franchises make sure that in this period, players either relax or they play cricket or they discuss cricket. They don't have to think about anything else. And that's really important. When you don't do that well, I'll give you a classic example. Kochi, year one, Kochi. One of the biggest problems with the Kochi franchise was the guys who were booking the tickets were trying to book the cheapest tickets for the planes to fly. So teams were flying at 5:30 in the morning, 6 o'clock in the morning. Now you know how the IPL routine is. 6 o'clock in the morning, if players are leaving a hotel at 4 o'clock in the morning, you are not going to get fit players to your tournament. Somebody needs to have thought that out.
Yeah.
That's what player management is all about. Making players as comfortable as possible.
I am not surprised that you said this about Kochi, because I think in that season, I probably met 27 people on flights and grounds who said that they were Kochi owners. So it was a royal pudding. It really was. It was just a mess and a half. But logistics, yeah, Michael, small things. I'm sorry, but I'm fascinated by this. Logistics, so important to keep players just comfortable.
Everything, everything's got to be geared towards making sure that player, particularly in these times, when they're in bubbles and they can't just go out and about and meet people and do normal things. It's so important that the players get looked after. And the best Mumbai and Chennai, we've just spoken about not having a great time on the field, but I know they've been two of the better franchises of looking after the players. That's why they've had so much success. They really create that family feel and that togetherness. And I believe Rajasthan are trying to do a similar thing. I think all the franchises are trying to follow suit. But it's all right talking about it. It's when it actually matters and when your family does need looking after, and when those small details need to come to the fore, like flights, travel, just everything. I know it sounds so trivial, and it's like, players get on with it, just play the game. And if a little thing goes not quite your way off, they'll cope with it. But, these players are playing so much cricket that they expect. They get it with the international teams. Back here in county cricket, they get very well looked after. So they would expect to have a similar kind of management around them when they're in the franchise system. And I think most of the franchises these days are doing exactly that.
What was the thing that excited you the most when you were playing? Was there a proper hot lunch? Is that what it was? Yeah, come on.
Well, yeah, and a night out, when you've won a game, that's the most important aspect. That's why Joy mentioned those early flights to cost you. There have been a few players that I play with that wouldn't have gone to sleep, just gone straight to the end.
Straight. Well, we have somebody on Cricbuzz Live who doesn't sleep till that time. It's our young friend, Mr. Ajay Jadeja. He's just running. He's running. I can bet on the fact that he's sleeping even after you are, Michael Vaughan, and you're 4.5 hours behind us. I can bet on that. All right, let's have a look at the Delhi team and see if they'd make any changes. The one question, we still don't have an answer to that. Nokia, where are you, Nokia? Is he fit? Is he... We just don't know. But otherwise, Joy, do you see any changes happening in this team?
They're looking good. I mean, Sarfraz didn't have to do very much, but he got them 12-15 runs and he looked okay. That team looks really strong. Khalil Ahmed is, come on, they're not missing Nokia as much as they would have, because Khalil Ahmed's doing really well for them. And he just missed that one match in which Nokia played. And I mean, Khalil is one of the top bowlers this year. He's got about 9-10 wickets. He's doing well. That spin pair, Kuldeep and Aksa. So, look, this is a team, both very nice, balanced bowling attacks, but bowling in a bowler's graveyard. That's the only problem.
We just worried a little about Shardul, because Shardul just bowled the 2 overs in the previous game. So worried a little about Shardul. There again is no word. These teams, with their niggles and their injury, they just play their cards really close to the chest and don't let you know till the toss. Perhaps that's the strategic thing. But if you look at that team, probably Nagarkoti is, the youngster could be one, or Chetan Sakaria, but Chetan Sakaria probably not, because then they'll have 3 left arm overs. Three left arm over the wicket. So I don't know if they're going with 3 left arm seamers.
If they were ever going to unleash Nokia, it'd be at the Wankhede on the pitch that you play on there, because it does suit a bit of pace, and it might be just you would expect them to go the same as yesterday because they played so well, but it might be a matchup of Knocker against Jos Buttler. They might just fancy unleashing a bit of pace against Buttler. They have to try and dismantle him early, and there has been the odd occasion that pace has done for him. So that's the only potential change that I could see, that they might go pace to try and they'll know that Buttler scores runs. There's a chance that Rajasthan are going to get a big score, and it gives Rajasthan a great chance of winning. So they really have to find whatever they feel is the best matchup to get a bowler bowling at Jos Buttler. I'm pretty sure that bowler will play.
Just in case Shardul's not fit, by the way, when I just look at that team sheet again, you can get Nokia or Lungi and Giri in for him because they only played 3 overseas players in their 11. Okay. So which means that Nokia can walk into just about anyone. It's not restricting them to just drop, the fizz. They can just drop anyone and replace him with Nokia. So that'll be interesting. But yes, for them, the key is to knock Jos Buttler down and to get that done really quick, because if he gets away, then, the orange cap on his head will tell you and complete the rest of that sentence. Let's have a look at the Rajasthan team now. They are looking very good this season as well. And that's because their bowling is doing the job. And of course, their batters are doing the job as well. Jos Buttler is carrying the weight of it. But every now and then, Michael, he gets support from the captain, or he'll get it from Shimron Hetmeyer. He keeps getting that batting support from someone or the other in that lineup.
Yeah, I guess Rajasthan are the franchise that what happens if Buttler gets out early? That he's been so they've relied so much on him, and he's up there with the best. I have him as the best T20 player at the minute. I just think he's that good. And that'll be the challenge for Rajasthan if he doesn't get a good score. But there's plenty. I've been really impressed by Shimron Hetmeyer this year. He's played with smartness. He's a striker. He can hit the ball to all parts, but I think he's used his mind and his penthouse, as I call it. The penthouse has been cleaned out nicely, so he's operating mentally very well. I guess there's a little bit of a doubt about the bowling because of the last game. It was a tight game. UV with his 5. Trent Boult had an off day. He travelled. Don't often see that from Trent Boult, but I don't see many changes. They're on a winning streak. They're playing nice cricket. They got over the line in a tight game. That's the most important aspect. And even though the bowlers were dispatched apart from UV, they still won the game. So I wouldn't think there'll be too many changes.
Yeah, not a good day for Trent Boult, but Obed McCoy coming in joy in that game, and he had a great performance. Obviously, Chahal with the hat-trick and everything, but Obed McCoy was quite impressive.
Obed McCoy was impressive. See what's happening with Rajasthan, how they're working out is basically their top 5 is delivering for them. Riyad Parag hasn't got runs, and after that, you're batting Ashwin at 7, which I think is a bit high for Ashwin. But what's happening is Buttler has been in such great form, and he's got some support after that from Hetmeyer. So Buttler, Hetmeyer, they've given them those top 5. Padikkal has given them some runs. Sanju's given them a bit last match. So what's happened is the top 5 is delivered. And in a pitch which is as full of runs at the 1K day, they'll still probably bet on themselves to say that, we've got enough bats. Even if you're batting Parag at 6 and Ashwin at 7, we've got enough in the top of the order to be able to, deliver 200 odd runs, because we need bowlers are going to travel out here. So I think in a pitch as full as runs as that, they'll probably trust with this lineup. I still feel it's a bit short. The middle order is a bit short. The tail is a bit long, but
they're playing that classic. They're playing the 5 bowlers, right? And while Ashwin is a great test batter, he's got 500s there, but obviously his prowess is more there than in T20 cricket. So you may be right about 7. But right now they're playing 5 batters and 5 bowlers because they're not getting much from Riyad Parag, and he should be looking at that, Michael, and saying, This team has backed me. They've given me opportunity after opportunity. I've got to come good.
Yeah, he'll know. He'll know that he's got to deliver, and he'll know in his own mind that he's probably only staying in the side because of Buttler, because Butler's getting them to that score. And then UV in the last game produced his magic. It's a formula. 5 and 5 that only works when one of your top 3 really strikes hot. And at the minute, Buttler is striking hot, so they're almost getting away with their formation because they've not needed too much depth because he's batted the majority of most innings. The question mark over Rajasthan is all about Buttler. If he gets a low score, have they got enough in the tank in terms of skill, power, finesse to get to a decent score. If Butler carries on, absolutely, they're going to be very competitive. But I worry about them if Butler doesn't strike.
But on the other side, Delhi, of course, have got two openers who were so destructive in the game yesterday. They finished the game in, I think, about 30 minutes. It was just done. Rocketed the net run rate up from 0.2 to 0.9. That's how destructive they were. So Delhi's probably looking at they're looking at Jos Buttler and saying we've got to tackle him. But then they're looking at their own batting and saying, wait a second. It's not too bad for us here, Joyce.
Absolutely. And see, their big advantage is that Prithvi will go for the runs no matter what. So what it does is it allows David Warner to pick his spots. He doesn't have to hit everything. He doesn't need to take risks. And David Warner, when he doesn't take risks, is a very destructive batsman because he punishes bad balls, but he doesn't do anything unnecessarily. And because Prithvi scores at such a fast rate, David Warner, the pressures of David Warner, he can play his natural game and he's getting runs as well. So David Warner gets into trouble when the other guy also is batting at the same rate as Warner. If the other guy is also careful and nobody is taking risks, then David Warner feels the pressure on himself. But with Prithvi, he never feels that pressure because Prithvi is just a kind of guy who's going to go for it. And I think that works for him.
Super exciting. Well, I tell you what, it was probably one of the best power plays you've ever seen. Not if you were the opposing bowler, but just the way they played, it was fantastic to watch. Which of the openers will do that tomorrow? But we'll only find out when we join you here at 7 p.m. on Cricbuzz Live. That's happening tomorrow. But we still have some paperwork to finish before we go. Some T's to cross and some I's to dot. The joy factor question and answer. Come on, go for it, Joy. Tell us. Be curious.
It's an interesting one. What connects a tournament-winning knock by Sudeep Chatterjee in 2021 with international cricketers Darren Ganga and Samuel Badri? And the answer is the town of, or you can call it this thing of Barrackpore. So
Barrackpore?
Yeah, so Barrackpore is a town, it was named by the British, obviously, from the barracks that there was an army barracks out there. And they have a same army barracks in Trinidad and TNT as well. So these two kids are from the town of Barrackpore in Trinidad. Sudeep Chatterjee was playing for Barrackpore in West Bengal. And it's amazing. In the British Empire, you'll have barrackpores. Wherever the British have gone, they've got barrackpores out there. And
I wish you had this question yesterday because I could have impressed my dinner guest Darren Ganga with this piece of trivia. And there's no point now. He's on a flight to Melbourne. Can't impress him for the next 16 hours. But I will text him and tell him this. Great job. Some people have impressed us as well by getting in the correct answer. The first of those is, come on. Indra. Hey, two in a row, is that? Simian Wolverine. We'll be announcing it at midnight. Oh no! He's gonna get happy and kill somebody. Come on, Simian, calm down. It's all right, Wolverine. Take it easy, buddy. You've won. There's no enemies anymore. You can relax. Calm down. Well done. Well, that was a good answer. Well, just want to tell you, by the way, before we go, the significance of tomorrow's game. If Rajasthan wins, they'll go up to second on the points table because their net run rate is better than Bangalore's. If Delhi wins, they can go up to third. So they'll jump over Rajasthan. That's virtue of their net run rate being so good, getting the booster shot after the win yesterday. So they can go up to third position at, the halfway stage. I'm telling you, things up and down like a roller coaster. Okay, we're gonna scoot from here now. We're gonna see you tomorrow. Big thank you to Michael Vaughan. Thank you so much for joining us all the way from the UK. A big thank you to Joy Bhattacharya joining us all the way from the GG, the Gurugram. Thank you for joining us from there. I'm Gaurav Kapur joining you from the UL, undisclosed location. Yeah, represent. Saying good night now. Thank you for watching Cricbuzz Live.